The September crypto trap is in full effect right now. We can see that we're in a rising wedge pattern and we've already broken down, and Bitcoin is traded from its highs of 124k in towards 108k right now. And we're actually seeing a lot of weak price action, and people may be wondering if we're going to be breaking down to our lows of 74k. So in today's video, I'm going to be deciphering what the September crypto trap is going to be, what is the direction that we're going to be heading. I'm going to be looking at the liquidation heat maps and a lot of different charts and data points to be deciphering what the next move might be. And I'm also going to be looking at Ethereum. We're going to be covering all the relevant levels and all the relevant scenarios for Ethereum. So make sure to be staying tuned. And with that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight away into this banger. Bow. So just to reiterate yesterday's video, we have a lot of news coming this week. We have our ISM data coming in tomorrow, Tuesday, and then we have on Wednesday our JOLTS job openings data coming out, and then on Thursday we have ISM data again and some unemployment data, and then on Friday we have our NFP, non-farm payroll, and we also have our unemployment rate, which is the most important one, coming out. So this is going to be massively influential on what the Fed's going to be saying in the next FOMC meeting, which is in about 16 days from the time of this recording. So we can see that we have about a 90% probability, if we round up, of a rate cut, which is looking very, very good because the markets are going to pump if we get a rate cut, since that's going to drive more liquidity in towards risk assets. So we need to be seeing if this is going to be happening when the news comes out this week. But yeah, most importantly, we need to be deciphering this Bitcoin chart. We need to be seeing what's going to be happening in the next few charts that I'm going to be covering, since we had a bearish cross on the MACD and also a trading in this rising wedge. So we've already broken down and we need to be seeing, is this the end of the bull market or not? So let's get into it. And you can see that we've got another tick from the histogram. So yesterday we only had one bearish tick from the histogram, and now we have two. And the previous times that we had this bearish histogram tick on the MACD and we crossed bearish, we actually had an extended period where we came down, and right now we had the same cross on the MACD. So it is indicating that Bitcoin may lose some momentum and continue towards the downside. Now looking at the next chart, we need to be seeing how likely is that, given that we've already broken down a lot. And if you can look carefully at the price of Bitcoin, you can see that we're trading on a massive support level right now. So although we've broken from this rising wedge, we're still trading on a massive support level. And if we do lose the support level, I do think that yes, Bitcoin may trade a lot lower, but at the minute we're still holding the support level at 108k. So if we continue to see Bitcoin hold this level and start to recover, that may indicate that this is a massive trap, which I'll get into in just a second. So the reason this may be a massive trap is the fact that we had a negative August. If we look at each previous post-halving year, you can see in 2017 we had a massively positive August, which led to a red September. And in 2021 we had the same thing. We had a positive August, which led to a negative September. And at the minute we had a negative August, which may mean that September may be positive. So the fact that this has already happened, we had a negative August, may indicate we have a positive September. And if we look at 2023 and 2024 to see how we performed, since we had both negative August in 2023 and 2024, we actually had a positive massive September. So we can go and look at the seasonality, and we can see in 2024 and 2023 we had a negative August of 8.6% in 2024, and then in 2023 we had a minus 11.29%. And you can see after that, in September, it was actually positively green for both of them. So this may indicate that this trap that everyone's talking about, where we have a negative September, may not play out. And this may mean that we may actually bounce from the support level right now that we're highlighting. So if we look at the same support level on this chart over here, you can see that we have a bullish bias pattern coming in towards the support. And this pattern is a falling wedge pattern that is actually forming and is actually right on support. So in the case that we do get a breakout of this trend line, it will indicate that Bitcoin is going to have some relief and potentially reclaiming a mid-range, which may indicate that we can actually start to pump towards our all-time highs again. Now, this scenario may come off some bullish news, so we need to be keeping our eyes peeled on the news coming out this week. But it is likely that if we do break this trend line, we will see Bitcoin reclaim this range and actually start to trade towards the upside again, since we're already trading in this bullish bias pattern, and this falling wedge pattern tends to have a bullish breakout to at least the top of the pattern over there. So this is what I'm going to be expecting if we actually get this break of this trend line. We can also see that we have the majority of liquidity above us right now, so it is likely that Bitcoin can trade to that majority of the liquidity. However, it is important to actually note that we have liquidity below us as well. So the majority is above us, but we do have a little bit below us. So in the case that we do lose the support level, then the next level I will be looking in towards will be that 100k level, where we had this previous price action. We had a lot of support at this level over here. We came and we swept that support, and that's where we had to move towards the upside. So if we do return to this level, I do expect us to have some reaction at least from this level and get some relief. So that's one thing to be looking out for. If this falling wedge pattern doesn't get a breakout of the trend line, it's likely that we come down and we actually grab that liquidity before we see a move towards the upside. But just to note, if we do go for the upside liquidity, we'll also be filling the CME gap at 117k, which is absolutely amazing to see. So looking at the liquidity, it goes from about 114, 115 all the way to about 118k. And if we do fill that liquidity, we'll actually be filling the CME gap, which acts like a magnet for the Bitcoin price. So this is definitely something that I want to be paying attention to, because it is likely that we actually see a move towards the upside given we break out from that downsloping trend line. So if you're enjoying the video and you agree with my opinion, make sure to check that first link down below for BitTuneX. BitTuneX has given my community a massive 20% bonus on your deposit. So you can see if you deposit $2,000, you're going to be getting $400 for free to be trading with, which is absolutely amazing. BitTuneX is the best exchange as well, since it's non-KYC and the fees are extremely low. So make sure to be checking out first link down below to be taking advantage and be grabbing this massive bonus, and to be also getting cheap fees and, you know, having an exchange that isn't KYC. Now looking at Ethereum, we're now trading at this level of support. So this level of support has previously been resistance over here, and it's turned into support as well over here. And you can see it turned into support one more time, forming a double bottom. And we had a nice reaction towards the upside, and now we're returning to the support level. So in the case that this support level holds, you can see that this is going to be offering opportunity for Ethereum to actually move massively towards the upside. And you can kind of see that it's going to form this inverse head and shoulders. So this is one thing to be looking at, and you can maybe draw some trend line there to be timing that breakout. But in the case that we don't actually hold here, then the next level is going to be 4.1 for Ethereum, where you had massive move towards the upside here after testing that level. And you can see if we actually zoom out on a higher time frame, this has previously been a massive inflection point over there, and you can see been a massive resistance point over here as well. So these are a massive two levels that I want to be watching for Ethereum. That's going to be 4,300 over there, and then it's going to be 4,100 if we can't hold 4,300. We can also look at the Ethereum liquidation heat map for the 3-day time frame, and you can see that we've grabbed the downside liquidity now, and we're trading into a level of support, and the majority now rests above us. So we need to be seeing that the Ethereum is holding this 4.3k support level, and then it's likely we go and grab the upside liquidity. But if we don't, we may be coming a little bit lower in towards that 4.1k level, sweeping all this downside liquidity first before moving towards the upside. But you can see that it's more likely that we come towards the upside now, since we're actually testing this level of support and we're grabbing all the liquidity below. So we need to be seeing if Ethereum can actually start to hold this level and move towards the upside again. But for the higher time frame, we know that Ethereum is destined to continue to move towards the upside. It's put in this V-shaped recovery, the cycle, just like it did last cycle, and it's likely to repeat history here. We also have the monthly MACD that's bullish for Ethereum, so that's actually looking quite good, indicating that the strength in this Ethereum rally is not going to be short-lived. It's something that's going to be a higher time frame move, so that's looking very good. And you can see that this descending broadening wedge is playing out on Ethereum again. So we've had that fractal play out last cycle also, and right now we're only just breaking out, and you can see all the upside that's potentially on the table for Ethereum, given we continue this rally towards the upside. So that's looking very good for Ethereum. And we can see that large investors are massively accumulated while retail panic and sell. So on this dip, there's a lot of retail sellers, whereas there's a massive amount of large investors accumulating. So I know what side to be on, and I'm not going to be getting bearish. So make sure to not be getting bearish also on Ethereum for the higher time frame. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Make sure to follow me on X to be staying up to date with all my updates over there, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a blessed rest of your day. Peace guys. See ya. Bye bye.